Loading screens are often seen as a necessary evil in gaming, giving players a brief pause between levels or scenes. But some game developers take this moment as an opportunity to entertain, creating loading screens so funny or clever they make the wait enjoyable. From quirky tips to outright jokes, here are the top 10 funniest video game loading screens that keep players grinning while they wait. 1. The Sims series, absurd progress updates. The Sims franchise is known for its hilarious and nonsensical loading screen messages. Lines like, reticulating splines, or, negotiating with the llama, are delightfully absurd and have become iconic. These quirky phrases add humor to an otherwise mundane wait, showing off the game's playful personality. 2. Goat Simulator, random nonsense. Goat Simulator is a chaotic game, and its loading screens are just as bizarre. Messages like, remember, you're a goat, or, simulating goat behaviors, perfectly match the game's ridiculous tone. They poke fun at the absurdity of the gameplay and make players laugh before the craziness begins. 3. Borderlands series, witty character facts. The Borderlands games use their loading screens to share fun facts about the quirky characters, often in hilariously sarcastic tones. For example, a fact might claim that a notorious villain volunteers at the puppy shelter on weekends, or that a deadly creature is afraid of balloons. It's tongue-in-cheek humor that matches the game's edgy vibe. 4. Far Cry, Blood Dragon, 80s tropes gone wild. The Far Cry, Blood Dragon loading screens are a love letter to 80s action movies, complete with cheesy jokes and over-the-top macho advice. One memorable line is, punch a hole in your monitor to continue. The game's self-awareness and ridiculousness make these screens laugh out loud funny. 5. LEGO games, instruction manual parodies. LEGO games are known for their family-friendly humor, and their loading screens often feature cheeky tips that poke fun at traditional instruction manuals. Lines like, don't eat the yellow LEGO bricks, or, superheroes don't take coffee breaks, except Batman, bring a smile to players of all ages. 6. Skyrim, overly obvious tips. The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim includes tips during its loading screens, but some of them are so blatantly obvious they become unintentionally hilarious. Advice like, when health is low, drink a potion or run away, leaves players shaking their heads in amusement, especially when accompanied by a dramatic rendering of a dragon or weapon. 7. Portal, tongue-in-cheek warnings. Portal games are famous for their dark humor, and their loading screens fit the tone perfectly. Warning messages like, cake is not guaranteed, or sarcastic reminders from GLaDOS about testing safety keep players entertained and immersed in the game's quirky universe. 8. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, relatable tips. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series delivers humor in the form of loading screen advice. Lines like, don't try this at home, or anywhere, are equal parts funny and genuinely useful for reckless players. The dry wit of these tips captures the carefree spirit of the game. 9. Earthworm Jim, pure weirdness. Earthworm Jim has some of the strangest loading screens in gaming history. In keeping with the game's zany humor, the screens often feature Jim in ridiculous scenarios, like eating worms or chasing random objects. The absurdity of these visuals is part of what makes the game so memorable. 10. Deadpool, breaking the fourth wall. True to the character's style, Deadpool uses its loading screens to break the fourth wall and joke directly with the player. Messages like, why are you waiting? Start playing already, or, your mom says hi, deliver Deadpool's signature snark, turning a simple loading screen into a comedic highlight. Loading screens don't have to be boring, and these games prove it by adding humor, personality, and charm. Next time you find yourself stuck in a loading screen, keep an eye out, you might just find yourself laughing instead of waiting impatiently.